Hello. Hi, Neha. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm doing great. What about you?
I am doing excellent as well. Thank you so much for asking. And first of all, I want to thank you for reaching out and wanting to have this conversation. I think we have been trying to connect for a very long time, and finally we are here. I'm very excited to meet you. And yeah, let's just hope that we have a wonderful conversation today.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving the response in my email.
You're most welcome. It takes a little time, sometimes because there are too many emails and I'm busy with classes and all of that.
Mm.
But I try and respond to each and every one because all of you are taking time out and writing to me. So I
Mm.
definitely need to respond to each one of you. But yes, definitely it takes a little time at times, and I'm sorry for that. But yeah,
It's
I'm
okay,
glad to
ma'am.
meet you.
It's okay, ma'am.
Okay, so Neha, just to give you a quick brief, you already know my name. I was born and
Yeah.
raised in Kolkata, and I'm staying in Pune for the last 10 years almost. I have a total work experience of 12 years now, out of which
Mm.
I have worked in the corporates for about 11 years. And for the last 1 year, I have been working on my own. YouTube is a new journey for me. I have started around 6 months ago, and it has been absolutely beautiful because I get to meet wonderful people like you, and I get so much of love and support. That gives me the motivation to put in the effort in YouTube videos, and I'm absolutely enjoying this journey.
Mm.
Training is something that is very close to my heart. I have always enjoyed it throughout my career and still enjoying it because I love connecting with people and helping them in whichever way possible to make them a better person. And whenever I get some free time, I love traveling, I love cooking, and I spend a lot
Mm.
of time with my friends and family. So
Mm.
that's me in a nutshell. If you have any specific questions about me, I would love to answer them.
I think I know about you, ma'am, because I saw
Ah,
lots of podcasts and videos of you. And
thank you.
whenever I get time, I used to watch your videos and your suggestion, whatever you post in your videos.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. So, Neha, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm going to tell you. So, ma'am, I am Neha and I am from Jharkhand. Last year, I completed my graduation in English honors, and nowadays I am working on my communication skills and as well as my basic computer skills, and that's all about me.
Wonderful. But what is it that you do in your free time?
So mostly nowadays, because I am in the journey of communication skills, and so nowadays I am developing the habit of reading, and as well as I watch some movies, whatever I like. So yeah,
Hmm.
nowadays I'm doing these kind of things.
Okay. What kind of books do you like to read? I am a complete fiction reader. I can't read non-fiction.
Mhm.
I listen to audiobooks when it comes to non-fiction, but when I have a book in hand, I love reading fiction. What type
Mhm.
of a reader are you?
So when I started my journey a year back, that time I started with the books of non-fictional book, which is mostly self-help book. But
Hmm.
nowadays I try to engage myself into fictional book, because you know what, I stuck somewhere, because every time I read the same thing over and over in self-help books, and that time I realized that I already know about these kind of things.
Yeah.
And most of the time I read book, and that time I feel like I know these kind of things, because the authors are different, books are different, but the point are same. So that time I
Exactly.
decided to switch to non-fictional to fictional book, and
Hmm.
nowadays I am trying to read fictional books.
Okay. Which ones have you read or you are trying to read?
So I started my fictional book journey with the I think The Alchemist,
Ah,
and yeah,
amazing.
and right
Great.
now I'm reading the Catcher of Ray, which is almost about to end, but yeah,
Mhm.
nowadays I'm reading it.
Okay, all right. How did you find The Alchemist?
The Alchemist is a good start for me. I can
Hmm.
say that, because you know what, it's all about the life, dreams, goals, and so many things in that book. It feels like it's not a book, it's my real life, that I also think about my goals. I I also think about my dreams that I want to become this kind of person. So yeah, it's like a life.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I always recommend everybody who is
Mm,
starting to read or who reads, if they haven't read Alchemist, that is one book that everybody should read because it gives you so much insights about
mm,
life and it helps you to understand yourself so well. I have recommended it to a couple of my students as well. I remember I had recommended it to Sunita as well and she loved it, and after that she made, I think, shorts or something on Alchemist as well. So yeah, my students also love reading it. And I read Alchemist when I was in school, and I recently read it towards the end of last year. So, it still holds the same essence, and I absolutely love that book. All
mm.
right. So, what about movies? What kind of genre do you like?
I mean, not a movie type of person, but for learning purpose nowadays, I try to watch movies, and sometime I tried that watching the Hollywood movies, but that is little bit advanced English, so
Hmm.
I switched to Indian movies and just
Hmm.
switch the form of medium Hindi to English.
Ah, okay, that's smart. Yeah, you can do that. But even if you are watching Hollywood movies, you can do this, that you can turn on the subtitles for the initial 1 month when you are watching the
Mm,
movie, and you can start with animated movies because
mm,
they are amazing to watch. It is a lot of fun if you are somebody who likes animation.
mm,
Movies like Finding Nemo, Moana, those movies are beautiful to watch, and
mm,
it has a lot of interesting words, phrases. And
mm,
what happens when you listen to English, especially when you feel that, okay, their language is advanced, or the speed at which they are speaking, or the
mm,
accent is difficult, the more you push yourself towards it, the
mm,
easier it becomes for you to understand them. Initially, probably 15 days, it will be a little difficult. You will have to struggle, you have to pause, rewind, or read the subtitles continuously. But one
mm,
thing that it helps with, what happened in my case, it really gives you that ease when you see subtitles and watch a movie,
mm,
but you watch it with the intention of getting entertained, okay? Not
mm.
watch it with the intention, oh, I want to learn five new words from it. Not that.
Yeah.
So when you are getting entertained in that way, it really helps you in framing your sentences correctly. So your sentence structure, that improves. And you stop missing out on articles, you stop missing out on preposition. So your grammatical mistakes in spoken English, that gets reduces. That reduces over time. So
Mm.
that is one good thing about watching movies and web series specifically. They are also great.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm agree with your point that whenever you watch something, you watch for the make it interesting. In initial days, I used to watch and pause lot of time, but that time I was not able to like watch the movie, and as well as I am not able to like
Correct.
got the point of it. So nowadays, I just watch it for like. I make the process easier for me, and I just watch for interest purpose nowadays.
Absolutely. That is the right way to go about it. All right. So, Neha, what questions do you have for me today?
So I have few questions, ma'am. Like, how is your life going? Like after marriage, because you married a year back.
My life after marriage is amazing, and my life before marriage was also amazing because, for me, I have been with my husband for the last 10 years.
Mm,
In April this year, it would be 10 years that we are together.
mm,
We dated for about 5 years, then we lived together for about 3 years, and
mm,
then we finally got married last year. So for us, we had this goal in mind that when we get married, we don't want, a life upgrade or something changing in our life. We wanted, to get married because of the fact that, you know, it would just, for me, to be very honest, marriage was all about pictures, getting gifts, and wearing sindoor, because that was my childhood dream. Okay, I want to wear sindoor and chuda and I want to do photo shoot. So
Mhm.
that is all jokes, of course, but then jokes apart, for us, we never had this thing that, okay, our lives are going to be any different after
Mm.
marriage. It is just very beautiful. And after marriage, the one thing that we realized is, that sense of belonging and that sense of responsibility,
Mm.
that has, somewhere been a little more strong now, because now it's not just us. We have two families which are also together, and that is a very beautiful thing. But apart from that, yes, life is fun. We go on a lot of trips, we go out, we chat every day. That is a very important part of our life. So that is something I keep telling everybody, that having that space with your partner where you are sitting down, not with your phones, and you are just talking, you are discussing how your day was, how the other person's day was. So
Mm.
that is a very beautiful thing to have in a relationship. So overall, yes, life is beautiful. Touch wood.
I mean, I mean, I like I did the conversation with so many people, and if the girl is married, so that time they told about the responsibilities that nowadays they are so much, they have so much responsibility in their shoulders and that kind of thing.
Right. So for us, it was always very balanced, because
Mm.
thankfully, my partner is somebody who equally divides responsibilities.
Hmm.
He and I always had that understanding that both of us are going to provide financially for the family, and both of us are going to share our responsibilities in the
Hmm.
home as well. Right. So I have, since the time we are together, I don't think I have ever made the bed alone. Either he makes
Mm.
it alone or I help him,
Mm.
but majority of the time he makes the bed. I don't remember folding clothes ever after a laundry. I can do the laundry and then I'll put it to dry, but most of the
Mm.
time he also does that. But folding clothes is completely off my list since the time we are together. Okay, so these are very small things, but they are very beautiful, and they are very meaningful things in life, because when you and your partner have that understanding and you know that it is both of your home and you have to take care of it, then life becomes easy and it becomes happier.
Yeah, ma'am. When both know their responsibility, both
Correct.
understand each other, then life is easy.
Absolutely. Very true.
So,
Yeah.
ma'am, I want to ask now about my English journey. That
Sure.
currently I am facing the problem of grammatical mistake.
Mm.
I mean, I go through the grammars over and over, but when I speak, then that time I don't know how to use the grammar in the right place. So
Correct.
how mm, so
Mm.
how can I
Okay.
improve my grammar?
First thing, shut your
Mm.
grammar book, shut all your grammar notebooks, push them aside somewhere in the corner, and
Mm.
forget about grammar rules. The moment you start applying rules while speaking,
Mm.
that is the time you start making mistakes, you start to fumble, you start delaying the process of speaking.
Mhm.
And then you feel, I don't have thoughts, what should I say? Okay.
Exactly.
So the
Mm.
first thing is, treat English as a natural language.
Mm.
Okay. Now, when you first start doing that, initially, most important is starting to think in English. Every single day out of 24 hours, if you are thinking something for 18 hours, then
Mhm.
those 18 hours, whatever you are thinking, consciously try and change it to English. It will be difficult at first, but after 4 or 5 days, it becomes easy.
Mm.
It comes naturally to you, right?
Yeah.
What it does is, it may not change or rectify your grammar mistakes, but
Mm.
it will make English a language that you can think in. So the translation time will be reduced while you speak.
Mm.
Number two, when you are speaking to yourself, when you are thinking to yourself or speaking to yourself, you
Mm.
have that time. Like when you write, you have time to think and frame your sentences. While you
Right.
are thinking, you will have that time to frame your sentences. So there you can consciously think that, okay, if I'm saying, um, I am need to wash my clothes. Does it
Hmm.
sound right if I'm saying I am need to wash my clothes? No, I don't think it sounds right. Why is it not right? I'm saying I am, and then I'm using an action word which is need to wash.
Need to wash. Hmm.
So I can't use a be verb with an action word. So how do I frame this sentence? You can have this entire dialogue in your mind in English,
Hmm.
right? And that's how you make English a natural language. Now, the moment you realize that, oh, I'm using be verb with an action word, but this is not in continuous form. So
Hmm.
maybe I should say directly the action word. I need to wash my clothes. Does it sound right? Yes, I have heard people saying this. I need to wash my clothes. I need to park my car. I need to wash my car. I
Hmm.
need to cook my dinner. Okay, so this is the right way to say it. So next time, Neha, when I'm speaking, I need to be aware of it. So you see, that's how you make English your friend. It is not something to be scared of, right?
Hmm.
So that's one thing. Number two, when you are doing your reading, when you are watching a movie, always do it for entertainment. Now
Hmm.
I'll tell you why I told you to do it for entertainment and not to do it for the sake of learning new words
Learning.
or grammar.
Hmm.
Because if I ask you today, Neha, can you tell me three of your most favorite Hindi movie dialogues?
Hmm. Hindi movie dialogue. I don't
Yeah,
know, ma'am, because I mean I don't watch a lot of movies, so I
you
don't.
don't watch a lot of movies. But if I say that, okay, um, if you know, if I give you a famous dialogue and if I ask you that, okay, Neha, do you recall this dialogue? Most of the
Mhm.
people will be able to say that, yeah, it is from that movie, it is from that movie, right?
Yeah. Right.
Why do they remember it? It's just the dialogue, because that entertained them. Somewhere they
Hmm.
felt happy or it was fun for them to listen to that.
Hmm.
Similarly, when you watch something for entertainment, even if it is an English dialogue or an English line, even if
Hmm.
it is an English song, you would still remember the lyrics, and that will help you in knowing what is the correct form of framing a sentence and not to make grammatical mistakes.
Hmm.
Also, whenever you are confused with a grammar form, do not refer to the grammar rule. Instead, understand the grammar logic behind it,
Okay.
right? So,
Hmm.
if you do these things, you will automatically see. And of course, the main mantra is practice, practice, and more practice,
Yeah,
right?
ma'am, I know that thing. Hmm.
So if these things are in place, then you are bound to see a lot of, correction and improvement in your grammatical mistakes,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, that's a simple way that you can work on reducing the grammatical mistakes.
Now I want to ask, ma'am, that people say that they can learn English in 6 months or in a year. So is it possible to learn all things in a year or in just a 6 month?
Okay. So if you say 6 months, that's a good enough time. One
Hmm.
year is a very good time. Okay.
Hmm.
But if anybody tells you 15 days, 1 month, 3 months, no, that is total fraud. Okay. Do not go for it. Now, when I say 6 months is a good enough time, you need to
Hmm.
keep in mind that you will not become a pro,
Yeah.
but you can definitely get to a upper beginner level or a lower intermediate level, right? So
Right.
if that too, if you are consistent as a learner,
Hmm.
if you are doing all the right things that are needed to be done,
Hmm.
then you can look at improvement. Then you can say that, okay, I can at least get to an intermediate level by the end of 6 months or a year. Is it enough to learn everything? No, your entire lifetime is not enough to learn everything. Even today, after so many years of speaking the language continuously, even I make mistakes.
Hmm.
For example, don't we all make mistakes while speaking Hindi sometimes?
Yeah, we make.
Correct. So
Mm.
that's the deal with languages. You will have slip of tongue. You will mix up at times. That's okay. But more than just the language, what people should start focusing on is building their confidence, building their fluency, and having a steady flow of thoughts. These three things are far more important than grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have these three things, if you make one or two mistakes here and there, people will not even notice.
Mm.
I make mistakes, grammatical mistakes while speaking, but I don't even pay attention to it. And if somebody is not sitting down to find out mistakes, even they will not understand, because I know what I'm talking about. I know
Mm-hmm.
what is it that I'm wanting to express.
Mm.
But I can have the perfect, impeccable English, but if I speak like as if I'm hesitant or I'm underconfident, then people will not even want to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Right.
those are the elements of communication that we need to start focusing on.
Hmm. I know,
Yeah.
ma'am, because when I started my journey, that time, I mean, I didn't do the practice with anyone else or with
Mm.
strangers. I just do the practice with myself. So
Mm.
that time I was not able to even talk a few lines in English, but
Right.
I can see the changes in myself that now at least a few sentences I can form,
Correct.
and at least I can, I mean, talk to anyone, not fluently,
Correct.
but at least I am able to talk now.
Absolutely. Yes, I think you are doing pretty well. I like the fact that you're very composed and you have clarity of thoughts when you are speaking. So that is a very good thing. The teeny tiny grammatical mistakes that you are doing, if you keep
Mm.
watching your own videos and if you keep recognizing your own mistakes, you can also get rid of those quickly. So observing yourself also, in the previous question, I forgot to talk about it. So
Mm.
observing yourself is also a very crucial part.
So, ma'am,
Okay?
I tried the same thing, that observing myself by recording my own video, but it is a little bit time taking process when you
Yes,
observe the things. So nowadays I'm not observing, but yeah, I try to speak each and every day, and I try to do all this stuff, whatever I'm doing for improving myself each and every day.
correct. Correct. Also, you don't need to separately record. You're already having conversations which are recorded, which are there on YouTube. Just watch those,
Okay.
right? Sometimes, out of all the videos that you are watching, pay attention to yourself,
Mhm.
because that will give you a different kind of confidence. When you see yourself, you would know that, okay, Neha, here I could have done better. Let me
Mhm.
try doing it a different way next time. So it will
Mhm.
give you a lot of ideas about your own self. Okay, so try doing that.
Yeah, onwards I'm going to do it.
Yes, of course. Okay, so Neha, thank you so much for connecting with me today. We'll have to wrap up because I have to start my session, but I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. I wish you all the very best, and we will definitely catch up once again in future and we will talk about something more interesting about your learning journey. Yeah?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving me your valuable time.
You're most welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye, ma'am.